Yeah, I'm good so far. I was going to let me make sure everybody, well, you can hear me. Let me see here. Let me make sure. Speakers are low. Can you hear me? Try it one more time. All right. Well, a few things. Something I was going to say here, and I'm just going to jump into it, and then people can jump in afterwards and replay it. We're going to talk about when people talk about listening to the experts, and when it comes to listening to experts, and people are saying things like, "We must listen to the experts," or "The experts have, they follow the science," and things like that. The thing that I think people don't seem to understand is that experts are people. Experts are people. Experts are people that have biases, and they have opinions, they have politics, and they definitely have a mortgage. I'm not gonna honestly. I have to look, and you have to look at things with a little bit more nuance when you have, let's just say, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. You're looking at them and you're saying, these are the people that are totally, that are totally for ending racism or trying to end racism or things like that. That isn't the case. Exactly. You're getting funded for the expert opinion. That's what I was saying. Do you really think that Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton are trying to find an end to racism? Ibram X. Kennedy or Kendi. Do you think he's trying to find an end? Because that's the end of his cash cow. Do you really think he's trying to find an end to that? So a person that is looking at, let's just say, 10 million, $20 million in funding, do you really think that that person is looking to end that funding and saying, hey, you know what? If we just do A, B, or C, then all of this will be over? Do you really think that person is going to do that? Absolutely not. The person's not going to do that. You can't, there's no way in the world that you can trust these people to give you the absolute straight truth. When it comes to coronavirus, Fauci, do you think Fauci's trying to end his pay? He was the highest paid person in government. So tell me that these people don't, like I said, they have mortgages. Also, you got to look at the fact that these people are they're flawed people that want that have they're flawed people that also have mortgages, like I said, and they want to stay relevant. They want to have people liking what they say. That's straight dopamine to sit back and have people constantly say, yeah, you're doing the right thing, you're great, this and that. With when it comes to what's his name, Fauci. Am I really going to look at Fauci and say, hey, you know what? He's definitely going to tell me everything that I really need to know. Absolutely not. Of course he won't. Fauci's not going to do that. Anybody that's a climate scientist, do you think a climate scientist is going to tell you that everything is that some of this stuff is naturally occurring? Do you think that they're going to do that? Absolutely not. They wouldn't do that. That'll be the end of their cash cow. Do you think for 1 second that Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Ibram X. Kendi, all of them, do you really think that they're trying to see anything but racism anywhere? That's the end of their cash cow. So why in the world would they do this? You have to look at these things and understand that these are still people as well. These are people. That's all that's what they are, people. And just because you're a scientist, you're a doctor or whatever, I mean, hell, how many doctors have you seen that are actually sitting there and talking about an embryo is not a human, that's not a human? How many of them do you see? You see that just completely science and everything goes right out the freaking window. Yeah, let's stop worshiping. Yeah, get up, give me some proof, show me something, and that's it. But the thing is when it's all said and done with, these people are people. That's all they are. They're people that have been trained in a certain expertise, but they are not infallible. They're not a people that cannot fall victim to money, power, popularity. It's a popularity contest. Maybe some of these people were never popular. Now suddenly they're going to be absolutely popular when they go up and say that we need to end the fossil fuel industry. Maybe they would say that. So to sit back and try to tell these people that, what is Loki saying? Even studies can have problems. Exactly. But that is what the peer review. But the thing is that we're not getting the best science when the only science that's allowed is the people that agree with you. How many doctors have come out that said that talked about stuff like hydroxy, that keyword? How many? Or not keyword, the hydroxy, whatever. How many doctors have come out in support, or the other one that came out talking about the whatever it's called? I don't want to say it and get demonetized. How many? But the thing is that I don't see you say that. That's the one. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna get me demonetized. The few people that come and watch, but they're gonna sit back and only listen to these people that are saying what they want to say. That's not real science, and that's not the best science. If we're going to talk about science, we have to talk about all the verticals. Every single thing to get an outcome that needs to be, or that not an outcome that needs to be, or an outcome that is best. That is the most. I mean, we learned this in the book Animal Farm. Here we go back to the book Animal Farm. We learned this when Snowball was gone, and it was just the other pig that was able to rule by himself. Snowball was the one that always challenged him. They fought. Sometimes things didn't get done. They would fight, and nothing, no laws would get put down, because you're actually having 2 people, 3 people, 4, 5 scientists that are saying, "Hey, wait a minute, but what about this? Hey, wait a minute, but what about this?" But if you're going to sit back and have it where only one person. We're only listening to Fauci and that's it. Or we're only listening to people that agree with Fauci and that's it. Then we get flawed. We shouldn't be surprised at that point when we're sitting here a year into this, over a year, with no end in sight. We should not, there's no way in the world we should be surprised that is the case. That's just the way it is. We've got to get to the point where we understand that experts are people too. And experts are prone to all the things we're prone to. You listen to everybody. Exactly. There's no money in that. Do you think here we go speculating. Do you not think that Fauci gets a little something for saying what these people really want to hear? Just the same as Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton got their palms greased when they came up with whatever racism claim that they would come up with. Let's be fair here. These people are people, and stop elevating these people to something that they're not. They're prone to all the things that we're prone to. Money, power, respect. We are all prone to maybe, not being straight up with people or giving people what they want to hear just to do it. Yeah, exactly. He flipped. The way he flipped from mass to he just flipped off of it. But anyway, let me go ahead and go to a couple of tweets that I retweeted today, and I thought were pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and say it right off the bat. If anybody wants, you can cut or follow me with the yeah. But and I understand. I understand there is all sorts of and I'll say this. I'll say this, Wade. I'll say this. I think one of the worst things that we possibly could have did at this point, one of the worst things we possibly ever could have did is made it where they only looked at those swing states, but not at the states that we thought were already in the bag. California, I bet you there's a large amount of it going on there. Illinois, same thing. So let's go. Here we go. All right. I'm gonna play this clip. Masterful. I'm serious. I want Ron DeSantis and Kristi Noem to run in 2024. Like straight up, I want them to run. Oh, that's loud. Oh man. Yeah, I kind of wish I could move to Florida, to be honest with you. Hell, I'm like 2 states over in Louisiana right here. I am ready to get the hell away. Nikki Haley is done. She lost. Well, she's an establishment Republican, so I'm done with her. She's a no. She's right there with Cheney, Liz Cheney, and all them. They're done. We need to start going. We need to start going right. Greg Abbott in Texas. I have a strange feeling he's done. But let me go ahead and play this clip for y'all. This was just masterful, right? So it looks like Ron DeSantis is putting down a whole bunch of when DeSantis is putting down a whole bunch of I guess like damages that can happen with as far as tech censorship and things like that. But I thought this was when he had the question answered. This was absolutely amazing. Listen to this. Okay, can't hear.
Instead of posting on the internet to have any any kind of regulation or any kind of accurate portrayal of events, because a lot of this is the deplatforming seems to be driven by somebody who did something that provoked the platform's attention.
So do you hear this guy? He's this reporter. The deplatforming seems to be someone that it would be someone that provoked, and that's what of course, they're doing you a favor. I've said this before. Do you really think Twitter, Facebook, and Google and all them? Do you think they're doing you a favor? Is that what you really think? Do you really think do you really think they're looking out for you? Is that what you think? Now check this out. Here we go a little more.
Well, I think it's been done in a way that's completely unprincipled. They mentioned the Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden story was true.
Yep.
Okay. We now know it was true.
Of course it was.
And the typical corporate media outlets, they just chose to ignore it.
Yep.
Obviously, they wanted to beat Trump.
Yep.
They had a view on the election. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to give it any air. So we rely on social media to go around that, not let corporate legacy media outlets control the discourse and let us speak.
If there was ever any kind of e-fraud, I'm just going to say e-fraud, it was that right there. That was something that can be proven by the tech companies. That right there is something without a shadow of a doubt that these people were colluding. I mean, it is what it is. Let me go a little further. Let's just go a little further. Listen to this man. And you want to talk about helping the American worker. This man would help the American worker. And we'll know about that in a little bit. Check this out.
So you had the New York Post to run it, and you couldn't get any traction. You couldn't get any reach on it because big tech put their thumb on the scale. So that was true. What they said at the time, it's a conspiracy, or it's based on hacked information. Are you kidding me? You're trying to tell me if there was hacked information that could damage me, you guys wouldn't print it? Give me a break. You can whiz on my...
See, I said it before, and I'll say it again. This is how Trump should have handled the media. This is how, this is all, that reporter has nothing to say now. That reporter has nothing to say in response to this.
But don't tell me it's raining. You guys would print it every single day if you could.
Yep.
And big tech would allow it to proliferate every single day, 24/7. So it's not being done in a principled basis. And it's not, there's threats on me. And it only gets taken down if law enforcement goes and tells them to do it. Otherwise, it just stays up. They're not moderating any of that. So they haven't done a good job in it.
And see what he's saying? If the only way that these tech companies will take something down that comes up, that somebody puts up against a Republican, is if law enforcement tells them to do it. Other than that, it just stays right up. But Republicans and conservatives get censored all the time.
The thumb's always on the scale in one direction, and we just need to bring some protection for folks. I really, really worry when you have a business owner that may rely on some of these tools to do small business. If they engage in wrongthink or they go to the wrong political event, then all of a sudden they can act in concert and just take you off.
That was absolutely masterful. Trump opened the door. I said it, like this guy Ralph Mel says. Trump opened the door. Now he kicked the door. Trump kicked the door. Somebody had to kick the door. He kicked the door in, and now you let the people that have a little bit more, that are able to finesse the message a little more. There was nothing that man could say back to him. There was nothing that man could have said back to him. Let me go a little more here. Check this out. Vanilla Ice posted this, out of all people. Check this out here.
People, while so many others also led and continues to lead on protecting the livelihoods of our people. While so many other states kept locking people down, Florida lifted people up. We believe every job is essential. You work in a restaurant, we have your back. If you are a hairstylist, we protect your right to earn a living. And if you are a parent, we ensure your kids have the right to attend school in person. Lockdowns do not work. School closures have been disastrous. Yet even today, we see across our country businesses shuttered, lives ruined, and schools closed. Indeed, in major parts of the country.
How in the hell? Please tell me, folks, how in the hell has the media got people to actually? How has the media got people to actually think that this man did a worse job than Cuomo? It is freaking crazy towns to sit there and tell me for 1 second that this man did worse than Cuomo. Let's go a little more. All of this right here, this man right here helps the American worker. He would help the American worker. Here we go a little more.
Students might not return to in-person instruction until the fall. Florida schools are open. Every Floridian has a right to work. All businesses have a right to operate, and Florida is better for it.
How in the hell can you tell me for 1 second that there are places, how can you tell me for 1 second that there are jobs that are not essential? That right there, for people saying that's so authoritarian, it's ridiculous. That's completely and totally authoritarian to tell someone your business is not essential, so we're just going to close that down. And then one of the more telling things is when Governor Cuomo says, when the woman asks about people that want to work, if you want to work, get an essential job. Get a job that we deem that you can do, and then we beg us to work. That is what he was saying right there. It wasn't basically what he said. That's exactly what he said right there. I'll let you work and earn money if you do the kind of work that I tell you that you can do. There was one more. There's one more, and let me go ahead and put this one up. When this woman puts up for too long, the false narrative of a violent and insecure border region has been used to justify legislation that is negatively economic, that has negative economic and civil rights impacts on our border communities. And the first thing I say is, how does this help the American worker? How does this work? How does this help the American worker? These people that are against this. One more. I got one more here. Let me see if I can find it. Once again, you see me. How does this work in America? He says, what's this? Wyja Jane says the executive order establishment a task force to reunify families separated under Trump's zero tolerance policy will remove the stain it left. He also said more broadly of his immigration orders, I'm not making new law, I'm eliminating bad policy. Once again, how does this help the American worker? How do people that bring their own, that's what it is. How does this help the American worker? There's no one that can answer this effing question for me. She come out as another anti-Trump journalist that has nothing else to talk about but that hating Trump. Okay, great. Zero tolerance policy will move the stain it left. How does this help the American worker? How does this help the American worker? Because that is what the American worker is, the person that gets their money tax, that pays these people's salary, that work in government. How does this help the American worker? That's it. That's all I have for you. You don't have to, none of these people have to do a goddamn thing to me for me, except answer the question for me. Policy that you're pushing right now help the American worker. When you're giving money to other countries, more money than you're giving the Americans, tell me how that helps the American worker. And if it doesn't help the American worker, then if it does not help the American worker, then it does not need to be passed. None of it needs to be done. It doesn't help the American worker. Flat out. And this idiot right here, I'm sorry, whoever this is, everyone knows that Trump will make the run again in 2024. I don't want Trump to make the run again in 2024. He kicked the door down. He did what he was supposed to do. Just like Ralph Mel said right there in the comment section. He did what he was supposed to do. Trump needs to take a step back. He could run for the mayor of a city or something and just have a ball. But this cat, he needs to sit down and let DeSantis and Noam run. He needs to let them do it because they can do it. DeSantis ran one of the largest states in the freaking country. So if you're successful at that, then you can be successful. Yet what's the next step? He can govern something bigger now. Not fail upwards like all of these other politicians seem to be doing. Leave a crap trail like Biden does, and then somehow ends up in the presidency. Well, I don't give it. Yeah, I agree with you when it comes with Ralph Mel. I'm saying these journalists, I don't give a damn about these people. They have no marketable skills. If anything gets taken down, if this whole society falls apart tomorrow, these people are out of a job. So I don't give a damn about these people. Once again, if anything, they can't do a damn thing. And if everything falls apart, it doesn't even matter who can code. Won't be any computers. Won't be any computers. It's a good IPA, guys. Here's another one. White House open to narrowing who qualifies for stimulus checks, but keeping payments to $1,400 per person. And I want you to know, didn't Joe Biden tell us that you remember when they said if they won the Senate that they would be $2,000 checks? Now you got these people talking about, well, see, it's actually right here, it's IW person. There's a lot of people saying that 600 plus 14 equals 2,000. So 600, no. No, stop making excuses for these people. They would not be. This person would not be making excuses if it was Trump. Joe and I put nope. Joe said 2,000. That's what Joe said. Joe said that we were going to get $2,000, and they haven't even done that. The next thing is this whole thing with, and this is what I'm going to end off. I don't know if anybody else saw this with her, because I'm just going to say it like this. I'm trying not to get this banned or get myself banned or anything, but I'm just going to say I don't believe her. And people need to call her out. I don't believe her. And I'm just going, you know what? I'm just going to leave it right there. So this whole thing doesn't get demonetized. I get my channel strike, whatever. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I should be streaming tomorrow. I don't think I'll be working any overtime tomorrow. So I'll be doing that. And like I said, if anybody is listening to me on this, or when you play it back, all you have to ask people straight up, ask them when it comes to politics and y'all are having a debate about something, how does this help the American worker? And if it does not, whatever is proposed does not help the American worker, then it doesn't need to pass. Because the American worker is the only person that provides the funding for the government. And if the government is not doing every single thing with the American worker in mind, then it doesn't even need to be. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and see you tomorrow.